This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Polly Robinson Brown Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we're talking with Pedro Jermaine, Vice President of the Real Rosewood Foundation. Hello, Pedro. Welcome.
Hello, Lizzie. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. I am honored to have you.
And I'm honored to be here.
And where do you work?
I am currently employed at Tower Hill Insurance, and I work in IT asset management.
Wonderful. And you've been there for years.
Going on 21 years.
Perfect. And you're sending out a shout out, or I'm sending a shout out to Tower Hill because they are one of our sponsors. Thank you, Tower Hill. And now we're going to talk about your role as VP of the foundation. Where would you like to start? How we met? I think that's very important, how we met. And
yes,
when we met.
When we met, that would have been February of 2016?
Yes.
Is that when the reparations banquet took place at the Hilton?
Yes.
Yes, and I remember attending this banquet, and I was actually trying to find a group of people to converse with, and I saw a lot of people approaching you at your table, and I didn't know you at the time. I knew the story of Rosewood, I knew the history, I just didn't know Lizzie at the time, but I saw how excited people were to meet you, and I was like, well, obviously she's someone very important.
Yes.
And about, I would say, 10 minutes later, you actually signaled for me to come over to your table, and I was I was actually very nervous.
True, I remember.
Yeah. So I remember going over, and we discussed what I do, and I discussed my job at Tower Hill, and I discussed my other career as an artist. People don't know I do art as well. So we started speaking about that, and I think we actually discussed producing a piece of art for Rosewood, or in commemoration of Rosewood. And that's where it got started, I think.
I think so too. And at the time when I discovered that you were an artist, I asked you right off the bat if you would like to be the resident
artist of the Real Rosewood Foundation.
Exactly. And he didn't know me. I had never seen this young man before, but it was something about him that attracted me to invite him over. And the rest is history. We became friends. Instantly, we exchanged contact information, and how many years ago? 2016, it's about 7 years?
About 7 years, yes.
And we have done so much and accomplished so much.
And eventually I moved from resident artist to vice president.
Yes. And chauffeur, don't forget that.
And chauffeur and
security.
caretaker. And yeah, I wear many hats.
Exactly. And we have really worked hard to make sure that Rosewood will forever stand as long as you are the vice president. And I appreciate everything we have done together. And I made sure I informed Pedro that Rosewood, I gave him the story about Rosewood, making sure he understands where I was coming from and where we were going to take together jointly, where we plan to take this project. And we're going to talk today about some of our successes. Okay.
maybe we should start with the painting. About
Okay.
how the painting Hope Prevails, actually how we came up with that concept. Because remember, the painting almost didn't happen because I was very nervous about having to produce a piece that represented the history of Rosewood.
Yes.
Because you just want to do it justice.
Exactly.
That's the main, yeah. So I kind of shied away from it for a while, and I remember you actually had to have a sit down with me and talk me through all of this.
Yes. Yes.
And people always ask me, like, so what was the hardest part of the painting? I said, actually, painting it was the quick part. That took probably like 3 weeks. Planning it took like a year.
Yes.
Because of the research and really understanding the history. Planning is always the hardest part. The execution part is easy. Planning it is the main part.
Right.
Because I think you really need an understanding of what you're going to portray when you portray history such as Rosewood. I think you need to have a complete understanding of that history to be able to portray it, and do it justice.
Exactly. And I remember telling you the story about my aunt, who was the real Rosewood school teacher, one of the Rosewood school teachers. I remember telling you about her struggle and what happened to her, and she was the young lady assigned, she was the person assigned to lead the children out of Rosewood, and that picture tells a perfect story of what really happened in Rosewood the night of the escape. You put it together awesome. What happened when you shared it with us at the gala? That was amazing. You shared.
Michaels was my partner. Michaels Arts and Crafts was my partner with this. So Michaels donated the frame.
Yes.
So we had a partnership with Michaels. So we get up there on stage with a Michaels rep, Don Gertman. So Don was with me for the unveiling. We do our spiel. We give our speech. We drop the veil, and there was nothing. Yeah, there was nothing for like a minute.
Complete silence.
Complete silence. No comment, nothing. So, for the presenter, that's like terrifying because I'm like, oh, so do they love this? Do they hate it? What's going on? I was about to run off stage. I'm like, I'm just going to run off stage. And I remember signaling to you, like, Lizzie, do you guys like the painting? And you're like, oh no, Pedro, we love it. You're like, we just didn't expect a painting like that.
Yes.
So for our viewers, they just need to understand, Hope Prevails is actually, without the frame, is 4 by 5 feet. So with the frame, you have a painting that's a little over 4 feet by a little over, so it's massive. It's a very big painting.
It is. It is very distinguished and very well known. It has been everywhere.
So where did we start? We started with the unveiling at, where was it at? The Wyndham Ballroom. The
on
unveiling,
13th
and from
Street.
there, Michaels had it. Michaels.
Yes.
Arts and Crafts took the painting. They displayed it for like a year.
Exactly.
From Michaels, it went to the Matheson History Museum.
Yes.
Remember, we had a lecture series about Rosewood, and the painting was there for a month. Once it left the Matheson, we took it to Santa Fe College.
Yes.
And we had a lecture there. And then from Santa Fe, it went to Tampa International Airport in 2020, right before COVID hit.
Exactly.
Remember? Yep, we had it for Black History Month, Tampa International Airport, and at the end is when the COVID pandemic hit, but the exhibit was all completed, so.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Luckily, our exhibit was done by that time. So, and after Tampa International, the Frost Museum of Art, we kind of had a hiatus because of COVID.
Yes.
And then we came back with an elegy to Rosewood at the Frost Art Museum in Miami, and the painting went to Miami, which brings us to the present.
Exactly.
Yep, that exhibit took place, January to April at the Frost Museum. Then we took it to the Hannibal Heritage Center in Winter Park, Orlando, which is where it currently resides. So the painting is there.
Exactly. And it has been a journey. It has been a historical journey for us watching it and for the people appreciating it.
And I don't think we realize how much work it is to move an exhibit.
Exactly.
That is a lot of work.
And what does the exhibit consist of?
It is about how many pieces of art. I'm going to say we have 4 other artists, 4 to 5 pieces of works. So 4 to 5 pieces of work. Then we have 10 artifacts.
Yes.
As well as other digital imagery. throughout the exhibit.
Yes.
So altogether, I think Amy Galvin at the Frost Museum said about 1,000 square feet, 1,500 square feet of exhibit. So yeah, it's quite a bit to move around.
It is, and we need to let people know who Amy Galvin.
Yes, Amy Galvin is the chief curator at the Frost Art Museum at Florida International University in Miami, Florida.
And she helps when we relocate.
Yes, so the Frost Museum are the primary owners of an Elegy to Rosewood, the actual exhibit, and they help facilitate the, I guess, relocation of that exhibit.
Exactly.
If we had to relocate it and move it, so.
Exactly. A lot of work. And all of this is based on the story of Rosewood told to me by my mother when I was 5 years old. That's when it started in 1943. And look where we have come, and look where we are going, and where we plan to take it. It's a lot of work, but we have a lot of dedicated people helping us, especially the board. They work hard to make sure what we are doing will be remembered forever.
I know, listen, when we started this back in 2016, could you even imagine it getting to where we are today? Could you imagine getting to this point? Like, I could have fathomed that happening.
Absolutely not. No way. No. And we have done so much, and so much we have not talked about. We've gotten a grant from Florida Land Grant. What's the name of that? Trust.
Yep, Trust for Public Land.
Trust for Public Land has donated to the project, to the Rosewood project, and
museum project, right?
to the museum project, where we are going to, well, the John Wright House, the Rosewood John Wright House has been donated to us by Ian and Hannah
The Stone family.
Stone, the Stone family in Rosewood donated the house to us. And as we speak, one of our commissioners is working with Mary Alford, Commissioner Mary Alford lives in Archer, and she's working with us to get the house moved from Rosewood to Archer. Mm-hmm. You met Mary.
I met Mary, yes.
Alford. Very interested.
Yes, at our meeting we had with all of our community leaders.
All of our community leaders.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. And people, what is so positive, Pedro, people are so willing to help. And without people, oh my God, we would not be able to do, to accomplish what we have accomplished.
You know what, I think, Lizzie, it's also how we tell the story and how we share the history.
Yes.
It's all about presentation, how you present it.
Exactly.
And when you present, you know how? Because you know what? Because you honor everyone. You honor all the heroes. You know what I'm saying? You know how to honor every hero of that massacre. Yeah. So.
Yes. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Keeping they are no longer alive, but we're keeping their dreams alive, and their spirit and energy and the sacredness of their life. And if we don't do it, who else is going to do it? And that's why people gravitate toward wanting to be a part of, and they digest everything we say about our plans. And thank you so much for being there. Okay?
I'm honored. You know, as a child growing up, you watched the movie Rosewood, but you never think that you're going to be a part of the foundation that helps build. You don't ever fathom something like that. Like, if you would ask me, you can real Rosewood Foundation. Oh, no, I probably don't do anything like that. 'Cause you don't.
Exactly. And in 2019, remember we did the play?
Yes.
30 minutes. We did not learn our parts. We were standing there reading
from a sheet of paper.
Stumbling through. But we got through for 30 minutes. And what I have in mind, and I want to share this with the board, we need to go professional and clean it up. Not clean it up, redo it.
Yes.
I mean, it was not perfect, but we told the story in its entirety in 30 minutes. As we said, reading from the script.
But it was done with sincerity.
It
And
was.
that's what sells it. So
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so that's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a quick Rosewood word.
Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
My name is Lizzie Robinson Jenkins. I am the president and founder of the Real Rosewood Foundation, established 2003 in Archer, Florida. Years ago, in a little town called Rosewood, Florida, there was a massacre. Several people were killed, all because of guns, violence, disrespect. We cannot allow gun violence to take out our young kids. We're coming together. We're going to work together. And we are going to put guns on the run. GNV.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History. I am Florida and America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, recorded right here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Coach Spurrier's own podcast room. We are here with Pedro Jermaine. And I want to say thank you to our sponsors, the title sponsors, Campus USA Credit Union, studio sponsor, Meldon Law, and we are in Meldon's Law studio as we speak, and to Greg Bradley, Allstate Insurance. And I also want to do a shout out to rosewoodflorida.com. If you want to donate, please go there and donate, get involved, okay? And a special invite to anyone out there who would like to be on, a guest on this part on Queen Lizzie's podcast. Give me a call. Go to my website and look up my phone number and give me a call. Thank you. Okay, we are back with Pedro Jermaine, our artist, resident artist for the Real Rosewood Foundation, and he is going to, I'll let him tell you what he is going to talk about.
Yes, Liz. So, I think I'm going to back it up a bit and just tell about, childhood growing up and how I got involved in the arts. It's kind of important to understand, I guess, the roadmap to where I currently am at this point in life. So,
And where did you grow up?
Live Oak, Florida.
Live Oak,
Florida. Yep.
Okay.
A town of about, maybe at the time, 5,000 people.
Farming,
yes, completely.
that's
yep.
important for kids to hear. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
grew up in a farming community, yes. And actually grew up with my grandmother.
Okay.
Yep, I grew up with my grandmother. And actually, what people don't know? I actually grew up with a severe stutter.
Really?
No, I couldn't speak as a child. Could not speak. So my grandmother, remember, she put me in speech therapy classes, and we had to sit down and read books every night. God, I hated it because I had to read for like 2 hours. I had to read for like 2 hours every night. And I guess to further help improve my speech capabilities, she actually had me I started writing poetry, reciting poetry too in church. I had to recite poetry in church at age 5.
Really?
She put me up. And so by age, I guess 6, I started dabbling in the arts. So the arts came in. Arts that was like my escape. So started dabbling in the arts at the age of 6. And I remember actually, I would like draw everywhere. I would like draw on the walls of my mom's house. I drew on my elementary school. I drew on the walls of City Hall. That's where my mom worked.
Okay.
I was constantly getting into trouble with my art because I would just like draw everywhere. So my grandmother, she actually started buying me canvases, so she nurtured that talent.
Okay.
Yeah. And so by age 12, I would actually spend like 13 hours a day drawing.
Really?
Yes, obviously not during the school year because I was in class and all, but during the summer, I would spend upwards of 13 hours a day drawing.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have perfected it.
I guess you're never perfect, but...
Well, it's
you know,
perfect.
I always say, there's really no wrong way to do art. My friends always tell me, Pedro, just sell you. There's really no wrong, just sell you and be confident in it. That's what I tell people. There is no wrong or right way. Just sell you.
Okay.
Because we all have our individual styles, so that's what makes you unique.
Okay. Wonderful. True.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So by age 15, I was actually a public speaker.
Okay.
Yes, I had this normal childhood up until about age 15. Then it kind of changed drastically.
Okay.
Yes, I would be all over North Central Florida, like doing public speaking, and I actually got paid to be a public speaker.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I know you do well speaking about Rosewood. When people hear you, they think you're Lizzie. You got that story down. Really.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah. So actually, by the time I actually graduated, then I attended the University of Florida, but I was accepted as a medical student. I was a microbiology major.
Okay.
So I tried to kind of avoid art. I don't know why I tried to avoid art. I don't know why. I didn't know what I was going to do with art. I was like, what am I going to do with art? I was like, I'm going to go be a doctor. So I could just make a lot of money, just be a doctor and help people. And my grandmother was so upset with me because she wanted me to do art. I just did not want to do art. So after like 2 years of pre-med,
I can't figure you being a doctor.
I know. So
I cannot envision that.
I know. After 2 years of pre-med, with my grandmother's encouragement, I finally switched to art because she really had to sit down a conversation with me. She's like, Pedro, why are you going into pre-med when you're such a talented artist? I'm like, because I don't know what I'm going to do with art, and I just need to make a lot of money. And she tells me, she's like, okay. She's like, you just let me know how it feels to wake up every day going to a job that you don't enjoy for a paycheck. And then I was sitting there looking at her. I was like, why would you say that? And I was like, well, maybe she has a point. So I switched it to art.
See?
Yeah, and
Wisdom.
You know what? And luckily, art worked out because Lizzie, everyone knows I've done so much with art. You know, from the breakout show in 2011 in St. Petersburg, Florida. I went on to do the Mammography Art Initiative in Miami, where I helped raise money for women in the underserved communities throughout all of Miami-Dade.
Okay.
See, I helped. Yep, I painted like 10 pieces for the art show and auctioned them all off for those women. I had to paint for like 3,000 hours.
Yes.
And I think from there, that's what really just launched the career after that.
Okay.
And that's when FIU picked me up to headline the annual MLK commemorative celebration at FIU, which is one of the largest in the state or country, probably. It's huge. They have like 3,000 volunteers.
Exactly.
And as you know, Lizzie, I've been headlining that for about 12 years now, going on 12 years.
And I have attended about 5 or 6 of them.
Exactly. And from FIU, you know, the connection just started. It just started happening.
Exactly.
You know, that was when we got with UNESCO. And then from there, U.S. Congresswoman Frederica S. Wilson got me. From the Congresswoman, Miami-Dade County Public Schools got me. And I work with Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Rosewood.
The Real Rosewood Foundation got me. Yeah, it's just so, it's hard to remember all of the Real Rosewood Foundation. And recently, you know, I partnered with the Jewish Museum of Florida in Miami Beach.
Really?
Yes, because of the Green Family Foundation,
Exactly.
who I also work with. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Aces in Motion here in Gainesville, Florida. I work with them.
And where did you meet Aces in Motion?
I met Aces in Motion at, what is the class you attend?
LG,
Gainesville?
Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Gainesville Chamber of Commerce, class of for leadership
Yep,
class
and
of
Jennifer
48.
Staples, the sister of Addison Staples, attended the class with you.
Yes.
And I came in to pick you up because we were heading down to the MLK
Miami.
event in Miami.
Yes.
And you introduced me to the class very briefly, and Jennifer Staples calls me over. She gives me her number. She's like, please call me. I'd like to speak with you about working with Aces in Motion.
Yes.
And the funny thing about that, my coworker, Mark, I have a coworker, Mark Martin, he told me about 2 years ago, you need to get involved with Aces in Motion. You'll love that organization. I was like, okay, Mark, okay, I'll get to it.
Yes.
But look what happened. So
Look what happens. And that's what's so amazing about Rosewood and people we meet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's what do you call it? What's the word, Pedro? Help me out. When you were supposed to meet somebody.
Predestined to meet something. Mm-hmm.
It's like whatever we do, a lot of what we do, we meet the people that we were predestined to meet.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Addison Staples, the founder of Aces in Motion, he said once we bring, if our viewers don't know, we actually plan to bring the Elegy to Rosewood exhibit to Gainesville.
Exactly.
It will happen. We're in the process of making that happen right now.
Yes.
Once we do get here, I know Aces in Motion wants to do a tour. They want to bring the kids.
Okay.
So yes, Addison was telling me.
And what is Elegy to Rosewood? Would you like to tell us what Elegy to Rosewood is?
It's the Rosewood exhibit that is currently happening that pays tribute to the history and the families of Rosewood.
Exactly.
You know, I like to uplift it and keep it positive.
Exactly. And what we have done over the years, we have our research, and I always like to tell people, Mom said you must research, authenticate, document, and share Rosewood's truth. Okay, never attack anyone, keep it calm, but educate people, because history is who we are. Without history, we're nothing. We can't change history, okay, we don't plan to change it, but keep it alive, preserve it, engage, especially youth.
You know,
Engage.
and then we use that history to promote healthy dialogue. And in that, you bring about healing. And that's how I think it all works. Because
Exactly.
you have to discuss it, you have to discuss it.
And that's what we do well, healthy dialogue. And
Yes.
And that means telling the story positively, and because the people today did not create Rosewood, my mother would often say to me, so you cannot attack, encourage, embrace, okay? And everybody would be telling the story the same as we tell it, positively. It's conversation, okay? And we can't change that.
You know what? I'm very fortunate, and I'm just going to say that I'm very to have a company that actually supports all of my endeavors.
Yes.
We both always say that.
Yes.
Tower Hill Insurance, they support all of my endeavors.
And say
I
that
remember
again, Tower Hill Insurance.
They gracefully support all of my endeavors. I remember when I did my inaugural art show in 2011 in St. Pete, I was doing it, and I remember some of the chief officers, they told me, they said, Pedro, use that art, they say, go out there and make the world better.
Yes.
That's what they told you, go and you make it better.
Make it better.
And they've been supporting me ever since. They support all of my endeavors.
And then you do that well through art. And the people I want to say about the people that we have met here at Steve Spurrier's Gridiron, Freddie Weeby, we have to talk about Freddie Weeby, who is the director of Make It Happen Studio, has been very supportive. Steve Spurrier has been supportive. Meldon Law, I have been on his podcast like 3 times, very supportive. Jared Benton.
Yep, I love that. It's like literally we're bringing the community like
together. And we want, if anybody is within the sound of our voices, if you are interested in sponsoring or donating or to Rosewood, make sure you visit our website. As I say, it is rosewoodflorida.com. So go there, donate. We need you. Volunteer. There is a list. You can sign up if you want to be a volunteer. And to help us work, we need workers, ideas,
It's true.
Other
Because that museum will be a huge undertaking.
Yes.
It will be a massive one.
And we got enough money to get it started. So as we speak, we are working on zoning, planning, and I think we have like a year to get the construction going.
Yes.
And it's going to be an awesome place for families to meet.
Yes.
And you were about to say something, Pedro. We're looking out for Archer. We're going to make Archer the capital of peace, healing, and reconciliation.
Not only Archer, say your state.
Okay.
Nation. I mean,
The nation.
Rosewood is a
Okay.
part of American history. It is. It's
It
a part of it.
is.
So.
It is. And I didn't tell you this. Got a call from a friend out of New York. She said, Liz, what were you doing in my living room yesterday? Didn't know what she was talking about. And I said, then what are you talking about? She said, I saw you on television in Miami at FIU talking about the elegy of Rosewood. And she said, I pulled it up. And there you were again.
That would have been our panel discussion at the Frost
Exactly,
Museum.
exactly. And she has been following us. I said, you mean it has gone national? She said, no, international, because I was talking to my friend.
Because FIU has a massive platform.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so she saw it all the way in, I'm thinking that she said Japan, Tokyo. Where's Tokyo, Japan?
I know FIU has a campus in, I want to say China.
So it may have been there. I knew it was another country.
I know they have, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're out there, you all. Please stay in touch. Follow us on our website, Facebook, Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, or Queen Lizzie Podcast. Okay? We're looking forward to you to follow us, get in touch with us. Okay. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. Thanks to Pedro Jermaine, I am Queen Lizzie, signing off until next time. Goodbye.